Okay, everybody, let's bring you up to date on what's going on with our weather for you here across the area. So I'm back actually in the studio right now after being out and about across the region for today for us here in our region. So what you are looking at right now, and I want to go bring you up to date on everything here, is traffic situation. And we're going to get to our forecast in just a moment, but I actually spent the day traveling across South Shreveport all the way over to Wascom, Texas today to get a little bit of an idea of what the traffic situation was like. Now, I was able to make it through okay. I think conditions will start to deteriorate a little bit during the evening hours as the sun, I know you didn't see it today, but it does set, and we start to see colder temperatures settle in. So we will see some refreezing and some spots on some of those roadways where that slushiness happens to be. And then we wait around to see what else. But let's talk a little bit about what is going on right now as we zoom in to areas in and around Shreveport for you. So what you're seeing here as we take a look at our live traffic tracker is you are seeing the I-49 portion of in town. Basically, it closes down there at Burt Coons if you're going northbound, and then though it closes as well if you're going southbound up around the I-20. Also, what is closed is the interchange on I-220 and I-49 on the north side of town. That interchange is also shut down. We're going to take a look at some traffic cameras to see what is going on as well. Now, this is a shot for you coming in. For us here on the north side of Cross Lake that you're able to see there at I-220 and LA-173. And then we jump over to I-20 to see what is going on there. I-20 at Traffic Street and I-20 at Barksdale Boulevard. Now, vehicles are moving along there. Okay, it looks like that a lot of grooves have been set up there, so that's a little bit of good news. But again, please be careful if you do venture out. Very little traffic, which means there's not going to be any cars or whatever and tires heating up that pavement there for you. So again, use caution there, slow it down, especially when you get closer to other vehicles. Now we're going to jump up. So yeah, I-49 here in northwest Louisiana between the state line of Arkansas and Louisiana. You got a little go in some places, but otherwise things are moving along. But things a little dicier though when you get up into southwest Arkansas. I-49 northbound there. So it's a little bit of some slow as well. I'm imagining there happens to probably be a little bit more of some ice there on the road, probably sleet as well, that went and ended up accumulating. And then we go into the area around Texarkana, and you're also able to go and see there a little slow go there along Interstate 30 on the north side of town. This is a live look for you there at I-30 and Texas Highway 93. And you notice there that there are a few vehicles. I think that's more the service road there on the left-hand side, and then the interstate there on the right. And you will notice, and I might be wrong there completely, but I think that's how it's set up. And but cars moving along there. Okay, but again, make sure, again, you give yourself some extra time going on. So let's talk a little bit about what precip is happening right now. So that area shade that you see there on the screen, sort of that pinkish purplish color there for you, that happens to be more than likely either freezing rain or sleet. Freezing rain or sleet is what we are looking at right there in our area. So we're going to continue to see this. This is light precipitation. So again, it could start adding a little bit more in the way of some accumulation out there, be a light accumulation. We've been very, very lucky so far today in the sense of we had more sleet than we did freezing rain. But the freezing rain has caused problems. I have a friend sending me pictures sending me pictures a few moments ago showing multiple trees down in a road. Also, he had some damage there to a structure there in his backyard. And so we probably going to see more of that. But the next question is what's going to be happening as we work our way through the evening. Now, one interesting component here that we've talked about yesterday as I shift the map over, and I'm going to pop it up here on the screen here momentarily, is could we see a thunder shower? I don't want to say thunder snow, thunder sleet, thunder freezing rain. Well, we could. Why is that? Because taking a look at our lightning detector, we've actually picked up a few lightning strikes west of the Arklatex. So that's going to be something very interesting to see. So why am I pointing this out? Because if you see a system with lightning in it, it usually means, not always, but you know this, if you get in a thunderstorm, thunderstorm's rain is usually heavier than just a shower, right? So that's something to watch and see. In this case here, we could be dealing with freezing rain or sleet as far as the situation is concerned. So anyway, that's another view there for you of what is going on right now. So we'll go out to a little bit of a broader perspective. So what we're looking at here as you take a look out there, out to West Texas, in that area stretching from Dallas back west towards San Angelo. Now, that's snowfall going on there, but it'll probably change over to freezing rain or sleet just because we have that warm nose of air that's going to help change that over. And again, we're thinking that late this evening and then overnight, we'll start to see more of a wintry mix try to move its way on into the Arklatex. So quick reminder, winter storm warning, the northern parts of the Arklatex, ice storm warning elsewhere in our region. So what's going on here? So let's take a look at temperatures first of all. Other than Natchitoches, everywhere is below freezing, at or below freezing now. So you could end up having some issues there, especially in areas that are near just south of I-49 and then all the way up north through the rest of the Arklatex. So that's a key component to realize there, those temperatures. Now we're going to take a look at as far as precision cast. Now, here we go. So as we work our way through the evening hours, it likely is going to be some hit and miss activity. But then by the time we make our way towards midnight and afterwards, we'll likely see an increase in coverage of a wintry mix. So what kind of wintry mix could fall? You know, there's been a big push talking about it's freezing rain. And I said many, many times over the past few days, I said, folks, look, it really matters what that column of air is above us. And that's freezing, obviously. But how deep is it? Does it go up into the air? Because folks realize this. When you go up about 3,000, 4,000 feet in the air, it's a balmy 50 degrees. Okay, so snow falls through that 50-degree area and it melts and it becomes liquid again. Then it reemerges back at below freezing temperatures. Has two choices it can do, or two things it can do. It could stay rain and then it's freezing rain once it hits the surface, or it could have time to refreeze into sleet. But it just realize how thick it is. And the numbers are arbitrary. I mean, you can go and say you need 1,000 feet of air to cool it down enough to come sleet, or it could be 2,000 feet of air. The bottom line is that just moving that line one way or the other changes everything. So if it's 1,000 feet, it's freezing rain. If it is 1,400 feet, it might have time to become sleet. So what do I think it's going to do tonight? I'm hoping it is sleet again, because that's a little bit better for our power situation, but still accumulating on the roadways, it could become an issue for us a little bit more so tonight versus what we saw this morning, because we already have had below freezing temperatures for a while. The soundings we look at, forecast soundings, look very similar to the ones we saw for the first round of precip. That's why I'm not saying it's definitely sleet. I'm saying it's a wintry mix, and it still could go one way or the other. And what I've seen so far as time goes along tonight after it starts, it probably, if it starts as freezing rain, I would think in many areas transition over to sleet, just because it's going to cool that column of air down. And then on the backside of it, we might see a little wraparound snow going on. So 5 a.m. in the morning, that's probably going to be sleet in a lot of areas, I would think. And then we start to see things maybe die down by mid to late morning. And then we wait and see how much precip that we end up getting. And then we wait for the cold temperatures to come in after that. So what about as far as freezing rainfall possibilities for us? So let's take a look. It's the high resolution forecast model, and it is showing still the prospects of 1/4 of an inch or more trying to fall. That doesn't take into account what fell earlier on. I'm hoping that's not the case. That's the worst case scenario, in my opinion. I'm hoping that's not the case, but we'll have to see how that develops. Again, it all has to do with a simple transition from 1,500 feet in the air to maybe 1,300 feet in the air. So we'll watch this and see. We also, at least I also believe, we could end up seeing sleet with this activity as well. So indications are seeing some sleet develop and move on through the area also as we see the system there. I think a lot of it wraps up by mid or late morning for you for tomorrow. The other thing we look at is road temperatures. Everywhere's below freezing now. Doesn't mean it's going to freeze on a roadway, but right now, I think the potential is on many, many roadways. Things can freeze because why? Well, no. Well, that's basically because we already have the precip on it. So that's the thing. So as far as the forecast is concerned, your road temperatures will remain below freezing. Now, tomorrow afternoon, just because of the daytime and all, is that it does show the prospects that we could see road temperatures climb above freezing. So what does that mean for us? That means we could have some melting in some areas. However, unless it completely melted and dried, which in many cases it probably will not, it will refreeze again during the overnight hours for you on the tomorrow night into Monday morning. So anyway, temperature forecast looks like this here. Forecast lows for us for your Sunday will probably range anywhere from middle teens to near 20 degrees. Afternoon high temperatures will probably be there in the 20s for us Some areas could flirt with that freezing mark, but more than likely staying below freezing. And then we have a big chill in place for us once we make our way on into tomorrow. So anyway, that's what's going on for us for right now. We're going to go back over here. We'll take a look at our radar to show you what's happening. And this is showing you once again, as far as seeing those lightning strikes there go on. We'll put it in motion and let you see that. And it'll be very interesting to see about if we see some type of convective type system with the lightning strikes, and if that picks up the intensity of anything that is going on for us. So again, folks, please just stay alert to any changing weather situations going on. I do believe that we'll see a mixed bag of sleet and freezing rain. I'm hoping it tends towards sleet for you, even though there's some forecasts that show otherwise. But the column of air to me just looks as cold as what it was earlier. We might get a little bit of a bump in the warm nose there, but hopefully that's not going to be the case. But again, please be careful out there traveling, folks. You know, if you can avoid it, I've been out on the road. If you are going to be out, number one, just drive slow. Try to see what the road's doing. I try to, if I'm traveling somewhere, is to pick areas where a lot of people have already been traveling to, and through that area. You got to pick a different route because remember, I-49 is closed for us. So again, be respectful, slow it down. Hopefully you're dripping your faucets right now, both warm and cold. Drip the faucets there too for you. I posted something earlier, I think on my Facebook page, talking about roofs as well, because the ice can go and end up causing some issues there. So that's, you know, watch out for that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to go and tell. Oh, by the way, down power lines, do not approach them. They could be live, and that's the last thing you need to go and end up messing with. So again, that's an update for you. I'll do another one for you coming up at 7 p.m. And then at 8 p.m., we start news. If the director can hear me upstairs, is that news on KPXJ? I think it's on KPXJ at 8 o'clock tonight. I think that makes sense. So that's what it should be on KPXJ starting tonight at 8 o'clock, because I think usually we go 8 and 9, and then over on KTBS at 10 o'clock. So anyway, that's what's going on, folks. So please be careful out there, and we will have more updates for you. Like I said, another one coming up at 7 o'clock.